Here's a guide to Judo and Jiu Jitsu for dummies, right? Like,
Here we go.
I'll just basically, Judo, Jiu Jitsu are one and the same. Jiu Jitsu, Japanese Jiu Jitsu, is where Judo and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu come from. Judo comes from Japanese Jiu Jitsu that was for the feudal samurai.
Okay.
What Shigeru Kano did was take out the striking in Judo, in Jiu-Jitsu, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, and focused only specifically on the throwing and off balance and the manipulation of joints once on the ground and pins, right? Judo is throwing your opponent. You never strike your opponent. There's no striking in Judo. It's all throws.
Okay.
It's all based off a bunch of different hip throws, sweeps. So there's ashiwaza, tashiwaza, and all that stuff, as well as there is groundwork, right? So in Judo, you throw the opponent. Once you get them on the ground, in the sports sense, you either arm lock and if you pin your opponent, and that's it. Now, Judo used to have all of the same, like some of the leg locks, wrist locks, and stuff that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu does. Over time, the governing body has just made it more of a sport and has taken out a lot of the groundwork besides pins and arm bars. And that's pretty on chokes. Pins, arm bars, and chokes. Jiu-Jitsu is Judo, but the Brazilians, they said, what do we do once we're on the ground, right? The fight doesn't end.
Right.
Because if you throw somebody really hard on the ground, but they're tough and they don't get knocked out, you still have a problem with the threat.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was, okay, what do we do once we're on the ground? So that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is what comes after the throw. Arm bars, leg locks, chokes, knee bars, like every manipulation on every single joint in your body and ways to choke people. That's the only difference. The Gracies till this day still do Judo, still teach Judo. They just focus on the ground part. A lot of Jiu-Jitsu guys make the mistake of just wanting to be on the ground. And you need to stand up.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to throw a motherfucker.
Because there is two different spots in a fight.
Two different skill
you end up
sets.
starting on top.
Yes.
You're up top.
So I've always loved,
how often do you see two guys start getting in a scrum on the ground?
Right? No, it always starts.
You know what I mean?
It always starts with striking. It always ends on the ground.
Yeah.
9 times out of 9, you know? So I've always loved grappling sports, but I never gave a shit about UFC or MMA. I just always thought it was like a brute sport. I really did. I was like, dude, like, I don't want to bash anybody. I'm a non.
So are you into it now?
Oh
though?
yeah,
now
huge.
because they
I'm just like,
implemented all that.
Dude, I'm just
but
like,
the first UFCs though, I mean, that was like
I'm just like rip his dick off now. You know, like, before I was just like
the first ones though, like were just absolutely insane.
No rules. They were just like, you just don't kill the person and you can't eye poke.
Holy crap!
Like the UFC when it first started, like the rules were so minimum. I mean, it was basically like, don't kill the person, don't poke their eyes out.
Sumo guys versus judo guys.
Yeah.
You know?
It was really about
holy crap.
what is the best fight like technique.
Yeah.
Like straight up, that's what it was.